My guest today is Jake Steinfeld, who is the pioneer of personal training, founder of Major League Lacrosse, World Series of Youth Lacrosse, the chair of National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils, and the CEO of the hit fitness series, Body by Jake. Welcome to my show, Jake.
James, it's great to be here, buddy. How are you doing down there in Palm Beach, Florida, man?
I am doing very well. It is, moving from up north and coming down here, it's literally nonstop summer. So when people ask me different things, I'm thinking, I'm in a time bubble. I have no idea when anything happened because it's all the same season.
I'm the same way. I'm a guy from Brooklyn and moved to Long Island, and then from there at 18, I came to LA. So I'm the same way.
Totally different.
It's sunny and 72 every day, except today it's a little overcast.
Oh gosh!
But hey, listen, we'll suffer.
I know, right? That's so funny. I was looking at your background information, and your birthday is just a few days after mine. So clearly, our personalities must be very similar. So we're gonna have a fantastic show today.
What are you, Feb 24?
18th, yeah, 18th? Just before,
oh.
yeah.
So you're 3 days older than me.
There we go, exactly. That's hysterical. Now, how did you even get into the fitness world?
Let me tell you, it's been an incredible story. I mean, and there's not a chance I could have ever done this in any other country on the planet.
Yeah.
I was an overweight kid. I had a really bad stutter, James.
Really?
At the age of 13, my dad bought me a set of weights, and it changed my life.
Really?
Because not only did the weights build my body, but it built my confidence and my self-esteem.
Go ahead.
No. Hey, it was that moment, because I'm a big believer, man, and life is about moments, and we all have moments.
Yes, we
whether
do.
they're great ones or not so great ones, but they define who we are.
Yeah.
And it's how you deal with those moments that aren't so great. For instance, as a kid with a bad stutter, I was petrified to get up in front of the class to read out loud. I mean, I could read, right?
Sure.
But when you had to read out loud, if you remember, I still get the chills even saying the words when a teacher would say, all right, everyone, we're all going to take a paragraph, and I'll go around the room, and you'll stand up and read that paragraph. I would much rather, James, jump off the Empire State Building.
Yeah, I bet. It's so interesting. Your story is so similar to my father's. He was just like you, had a really, really, really bad stutter, but then he found weightlifting and football, and just like you, it transformed his life.
Come on, serious?
Yeah. So when I heard this, like, oh my God, this is literally like my father, which is amazing. So he was the same way. And now he was a public speaker. He became a pastor. And so he was always up in front of people and always talking, but he would say the same thing.
And I would bet, honestly, that nobody, that his parents, I remember the principal called my parents and wanted to meet about moving me into that special class.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Put me in that room.
Yeah.
Was back in the day. Yeah. And people adamant about the fact that, no, we're not going to do that. Will not happen.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful they never did that. And, I just, like anything growing up, man, you learn how to deal with adversity.
Yeah.
And it taught me, and I pushed myself to stand up. And, hey, my friends laughed, but I just said, I'm going to get enough courage. And once I started lifting weights and started standing up a little bit straighter, and what happens is not only did the weights build my body, but it built my confidence and self-esteem. And immediately I said to myself, James, at the ripe old age of 14, I'm going to become Mr. America.
Really?
That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, my gosh.
I wanted to go to California and to become Mr. America. And I'll never forget the fact, because I went to college, first one in my family to go to college, upstate New York. You know the school, Cornell University?
Yeah, Cornell, of course.
Oh, sure. I went to Cortland. Down the street. So,
I don't know that one.
Yeah, well, that's why I always bring up Cornell. Because everybody says I know that one. But where it snowed every day from the second you got upstate New York. Wow. And not too conducive to walk around in your gold lame posing trunks in 18
Exactly.
inches. So you know what I'm saying, right? And my mom used to check in. She would call every day, let's just say that, to check in and see how's poli-sci, how your class is doing. And I finally got up enough courage. And you know this, and I'm sure all your listeners feel the same way, and probably you too. We all have dreams.
Oh, gosh.
We all have dreams. Yeah. But sometimes you get very nervous to express your dreams to people because you don't want to hear someone say something bad about the dream. And you find out sometimes it's the people closest to you who seem to be the most negative. Yeah. And my feeling is there are two reasons. One, like your parents, they don't want to see you get hurt.
Yeah.
So you want to do
It's
something,
well-intentioned. Yeah.
right? Well intentioned. And then there are other people like friends who think, well, wait a second, James, this lifeology thing, I don't know, man,
Yeah.
because if James is successful, then I might not be able to
Yeah.
be successful because they believe there's not enough success to go around. And I
I know,
believe the
isn't that
complete
crazy?
opposite,
Yeah.
right?
So
That there's
crazy.
plenty of success to go around for all of us. Anyway, I call my mom, or she calls
Yeah.
me, and we have this conversation. I finally get up enough courage, and I say, Ma, took a deep breath. I'm going to go to California to become a bodybuilder.
I
Silence. And all
bet.
of a sudden,
I'm nervous
I
for you.
heard Herbie, my father's name. Pick up the phone and talk to your kid. I'm putting my head in the oven. And it was, I will only tell you this, James, the bus ride from upstate New York to Baldwin, Long Island felt like I
I
was going from
bet.
upstate New York to Australia. It was that long.
I
And I
bet.
finally got home. We had to sit down. And my father said to me, look, you want to go to California? Get it out of your system. I had a girlfriend who said,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you? You're never going to be a
Yeah.
bodybuilder. You're a fat guy. And my friends all said, you're never going to make it. And I made the decision, right? Now, I've been married almost 32 years. I have 4
Congratulations.
great kids,
That's
a girl and 3 boys. And as they were growing up to this day, I talk about decision making. And I'm sure you talk about that too on your shows. And I'm a believer in if you have to think about something too long, probably something you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I decided I'm going to make the move. I go to California, right? I'm there by myself. I'm 18 years old. Now, I read all the muscle magazines. Every muscle magazine said eat 18 eggs and 24 chickens a day, and you too could become Mr.
Really?
America.
Wow.
Well, I will tell you this, James. I clucked a lot.
I bet you
But
did.
I never became Mr. America for one simple reason. I entered the Mr. Southern California contest. I got to California. Now, I got to LA in summer 77. I entered the Mr. Southern California contest in 1978. The guy that beat me was on steroids. Now,
Oh, yeah.
no muscle magazine
Yeah.
ever talked about steroids.
Yeah.
No muscle magazine. So I'm thinking to myself, what did I do wrong? And once again, at 19 years old now, I had to make a decision. And the reason why I didn't take steroids was because blatantly and bluntly, I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid to because, listen, in 4th and 5th grade, if you remember, growing up in New York, the nurse, they would do these TB tests.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And they would give you that little 4-prong
Yeah.
thing, and they would hit you. Well, that little thing like this big, I'd faint on that.
Really?
Right?
That's
Let
hysterical,
alone
Jake.
putting a needle in my own buttissimo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I decided that, okay, I'm not going to become Mr. America. It's not going to happen for me. But I didn't want to go back to New York a loser in my mind.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
My family saying, well, get it out of your system. You go back to school. My friends all said, you're not going to make it. I'm staying in LA. I love what exercise and working out did for me. I love how I felt, James. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to make it.
Important. Yeah.
But you have to find what your passion is.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Talk to plenty of people who talk about find your passion and find this. It's inside of you. It is. And everybody has the ability to succeed as long as you put your heart and everything else into whatever it is you want to do. And don't let anybody get in the way of what that is. Because to me, when someone tells me no, no is halfway to yes.
Exactly. It's so funny you say that. I had this people as well, well-intentioned people, like you said. Family were like, "Are you sure? You have this really successful practice in DC." But I had this one person who said to me, a friend of a friend, he was like, "Why would you do this? You don't have anything to say. Nobody's going to listen to you." And I was so shocked because, just like you, when I hear someone's dreams, like, "Oh my God, that's great. Can I help? What can I do? I'm excited." And just like you said, because there's more than enough blessings in the world. But when he said that, I will never forget that. And I won't say his name, but thank you for that, because that was what really solidified this. Was like, I am doing this.
Now, but you see, you're a different kind of cat, man, because most people will say, "Oh, Bob, you're right. Nobody does want to hear what I want to say." And you start going, and I use this analogy too, and I'll get back to the story in a second, but I use this analogy, right, for all entrepreneurs and people who have dreams. You have this incredible idea, right? Incredible idea. You're so pumped up. You're about ready to go to bed. You write it down, right? You're so excited. You wake up in the morning. Now you start making your coffee and your breakfast, and you're about ready to have your don't quit shake. We'll talk about that in a few
Yes,
minutes.
can't wait.
And you start thinking to yourself, wait a second, what? There's not, I can't, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
I can't do this. And now all of a sudden the I can'ts take over. And before you walk out of the door in the morning,
Yeah.
you've destroyed whatever that dream was, because it's all about changing those words I can't to I can,
Yes.
and believing that, right? Success is failure turned inside out, but also to have that don't quit attitude of taking a shot.
Yeah.
What's
exactly.
that happen, James?
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen to you? It doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Hey,
but at least you know.
We will learn.
You know, one thing I always tell people as well is sometimes we get so caught up in, can I do this or can I not do this? And we often make that decision before we have enough information. And so I always help people recognize that the first part of any decision is the information gathering. Do I have enough information to even make a decision? And so yes, if our passion is this and we want to do this, yes, we will definitely move towards it. But the aspect is, do I even know what that even looks like? Have I even called my friend and say, hey, you've done this before. What does that look like? And getting that information helps people then fully and healthfully be able to execute whatever it is they want to do.
And listen, the bottom line is this: it's once again about you just taking that shot.
Yeah.
Because the information gathering, and I've always said this, and it's not about it is what it is. Look, I was never a school guy, right? School was never my deal, right? When I got a C on my report card, my mom got me ice cream.
Oh, really?
So that was a
Yeah.
big moment to me. But
Sure.
but here's what happens. Sometimes it's the people who are so smart, right, and so educated that they
I see.
become
Yeah.
paralyzed
Sure.
with fear,
Too much information.
because they don't want to fail. Because look, if you look at anything that anyone has created, look what you've done, right? You've been a pretty successful dude. But how come you succeeded and somebody else did? You had the chops enough and the balls enough to say, you know what? I can do this and I'm going to make it work. I believe in me.
Yeah.
I believe in me. And that's what people need to understand. And that for me in my life. So here I am with this decision. I'm not going to take steroids. I'm not going back to New York. So I was doing what every good, musclehead does in LA. I was working out in the gym. I was catching rays during the day, and I was bouncing in a bar at night. True story.
Okay.
And it's 1979, and I'm living in Studio City, California now. And on my afternoon off, I'm just catching rays. And this actress has come over to me, and said, "Hey, Jake, I see you here all the time. I like you, but I don't want to look like you." And I said, "Oh, okay, great." She says, I've got this Club Med commercial that I have to do, and I need to get in shape. I've got 6 weeks to do it. Got to wear a bikini. I wonder if you can come up with a workout for me. And wow. She was hitting me with it. Now, just to give you a case in point, it's 1979. Jane Fonda had just come on the scene with high impact aerobics, right?
Jazzercise.
And at that time, right, women were very intimidated by using weights because they thought they were going to get big muscles. So we're just chatting, and she says, could you come to my boyfriend's house to do the workout there? And I thought, I guess I could, sure. She says, how much is it going to cost? I go, I don't know. Give me gas money for my 1977 white Camaro with Jake 77 on the license plate. I always kept a very low profile, James. You need to teach that to your students.
Yes. Yes.
And so I was thinking about what I could do. She gave me the address of where I'm supposed to go in Beverly Hills. I came up with this workout. I basically improvised using a broomstick, a towel, for resistance training.
Yeah.
So
I saw a clip of that. I saw you doing that.
Right. So instead of giving her 2 10-pound dumbbells or 15-pound dumbbells, I used a towel. Resistance, right? I pull down, you pull up. There's more resistance.
It's a different concept
pounds.
for them. Yeah, because if they conceptualize that as weights, that they're gonna get all these muscles, but to use something that everybody knows and it's the same, does the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, smart. Very smart.
And then I used a chair for push-ups and dips, and then 2 cans of Mama's tomato paste. Truly a 30-minute workout. She seemed like she had an A-type personality, right? I love training. I love being in the gym. One thing we know, you train too.
Yeah.
If you don't train, look, exercise is boring.
Yes.
If it wasn't boring, right, everybody be in great shape. would be in terrific shape.
Yeah.
That's why you have to find something that you like to do that fits into your lifestyle that works for you.
Yes.
So I came up with this 30-minute workout because although I loved working out, I was not a guy that hung around the gym. I wanted to get my workout in, and then I was on my way.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do the same thing for her. So I get in my car, go to Beverly Hills, knock on the door. If you weren't on the cover of Musclehead Digest, I didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
Guy answers the door. Turns out to be Francis Ford Coppola.
What?
And
Wow.
I just look at the guy and I just go, hey, this guy could use a workout too, you know? And very sweet people.
That's so funny.
They started going to parties and people started saying, you look great. What are you doing? This guy, Jake, comes to the house. He's got a broomstick, a towel, and a chair. He's got a 30-minute workout. He's pretty funny. He eats too much because they had a great refrigerator, James.
That's so funny.
I didn't have any dough back then, man. And at the end of the workout, I asked if I could get something to eat, and it was like, oh my God, it was like the Garden of Eden, man, to me.
That is
And
crazy.
the one thing about Hollywood is if you're good and people want to get a hold of you and they can't, they seem to want you more. Now, you got to remember, it's 1980. There's no cell phones.
Yeah.
You have to list your phone number in a phone book. And I never listed my phone number.
Very old school.
So hence, right, people want to get a hold of you and they can't. They seem to want you more.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm getting phone calls from Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford.
It's amazing.
Priscilla Presley and Bette Midler and Warren Beatty and Barbara Streisand and people like this. I'm training all the big Hollywood stars, right? A year, almost to the day that I got to LA from upstate New York. And I'm only bringing these people's names up to tell and teach.
No, I get it. I get it.
Different. People are no different than you and me. The only difference is they had a dream and they never quit on their dream and never took no for an answer. And you know, James, that gave me all the incentive in the world to say to myself, hey, wait a second. I might never direct ET too, but I'm going to have my own success in life.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was able from that moment to parlay that famous by association into videos, books, and television shows. Ted Turner, the great Ted Turner, gave me my start doing the Fitness Break Cable News Network.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
A great story. I know we don't have a lot of time to chat, but I mean, it's a great story, but I just kept parlaying all these different things. I launched my Body by Jake television show in first run syndication, then on ESPN. I had a dream to create a 24-hour fitness television network, which I did.
Wow.
Fit TV.
Wow. Fit TV. I didn't know you did that. I know. Yeah, I know that.
That was my network, and I sold it to Rupert Murdoch in '98. And I spent 17 years on Home Shopping Network down in your neck of the woods in Florida with the great Jerry Hogan and then Barry Diller and all those great guys. And was in the infomercial business and was acting and writing books and videos and doing all these incredible things that, you know what happens? You just start saying, why not? Why not me?
When you reflect on the person, when you reflect on the person you were as that young man going from Cornell down back to Long Island and then going across to LA, when you recognize that version in yourself now, what's different and what's the same?
That's a great question, man. I'm the same guy. I'm the same guy, man. I love the action. I love the energy. My life has always been about hope and health and family. Yeah. And now as a dad, I'm 62, you know, and it's even more important to me, family, and more important giving back. Yes. And in essence of what I've been doing throughout, look, I founded Major League Lacrosse, the first professional outdoor lacrosse league, 20 some odd years ago now, you know, because it wasn't there before. I was the first guy to do personal fitness training and made it an occupation.
Yeah, right? You pioneered the way for so many people. I mean, and I hope they give you homage for that. Not that you asked for that, but I really hope they realize that you did pave the way for all of them.
I appreciate you saying that, James. It's important. And then all this, listen, I've been putting fitness centers in elementary and middle schools around this great country of ours. I was chair of the Fitness Council along with Schwarzenegger when he was governor, and then Jerry Brown here in California. And then I went on these last, this is my 8th year. I'm chair of the National Foundation for Governors Fitness Councils, where I put where I choose four states. I call Governor's Cold. I have 3 brand new $100,000 Don't Quit Fitness centers.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
I gift to each state with companies that, fortunately, Coca-Cola, Anthem, Nike and Wheels Up have been great partners of mine since the beginning of time.
That's great.
And I couldn't do without that support. But when you give the schools the tools, James, and you give communities the tools, there are so many great people in this country, and you give them some resources, it's amazing to see what happens. And just like with me, the weights, yes, they built my body, but more importantly, they built confidence and self-esteem.
Yes.
And you know this when you talk to your folks and people who are listening, when you have confidence and you have self-esteem, you can believe and achieve anything you want in your life because you believe in you, because you are a brand. That's what I talk about when I speak.
Where it's so much synergy. Yes, I agree with that. Yes.
It's a brand. And which now, as I said, here I am at 62, these last few years, I'm thinking about the different things that I'm doing, right? And I've always been involved in fitness, nutrition. I've never been a vitamin guy, James. I don't never took supplements, never took vitamins. So everybody always came to me, Jake, put your name on vitamins. I go, I can't. I don't take.
Yeah.
One thing I had been doing since I'm 13 is making protein shakes.
Yes.
And man, they've been the worst tasting things on the planet. But you stomach them down.
It's like shock. Yeah,
you
exactly.
choke, right?
Yeah, literally shock. Yeah.
About almost 2 years ago, like anything else, being an entrepreneur is about relationship building. And I've made many relationships over the course of my career. Been very blessed that way, man. Like Steven Spielberg is a big brother, and these kinds of people have been great mentors to me. I try to do the same thing back. Yeah. I had this idea, this concept about a nutrition shake, and listen, granted, the world doesn't need another nutrition shake. And my opinion is it just needs the best one, and I believe we've done that. Yeah. I partnered up with a great company, Keurig Dr. Pepper. LA Libations here in Los Angeles is a beverage incubator. But we went big on this. We went big. Now, I trademarked the words, don't quit.
Oh, really?
One. True story. I was cut from my 8th grade basketball team, and I was devastated. A friend gave me a poem called Don't Quit. I'm 14 years old. What is a poem? I'm not a poet. Yeah. And I read the last 2 lines of this poem, James, and it goes, stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. And the poem is beautiful. In 1981, I trademarked the words. I kept the words sacred. I fought off all the big companies. I never had anything that I felt important enough to put Don't Quit on. Now, titles of books I use Don't Quit. I sign off the show with Don't Quit. Yeah. But there was never, and I thought I was just going to pass Don't Quit along to my kids. And 2 years ago, I sit down and have this conversation with this guy, Danny Stepper from LA Libations. Think Steve Jobs, right? Technology. This young guy, Danny Stepper, is this way in beverage.
Wow.
And we have this meeting. We meet from some mutual friends. We sit down. He explains about the adult nutrition category. There are 2 brands in there, right? Boosted and Sure.
Yeah.
And he says, looked at the ingredient panel on those products. They're all chemicals. They're all chemicals.
I didn't realize that.
Jake, people who drink this stuff are sitting in heaven's waiting room. And when you think about it, you never see people in a gym holding a bottle of Booster and Sure. You never see people taking a walk with a bottle of Booster and Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Back of a fridge. Now, my mom is in a nursing home now, not doing so great, unfortunately, but they try to jam this stuff down their throats, and it's terrible tasting. And at the end of the day,
especially if it's chemicals. I mean, that's scary.
So he presents this idea. He says, we've been looking at disrupting this category called adult nutrition, Jake. He said, let's do it together. And I said, here's interesting. It's got to be a clean label. If I'm putting my name on something, it's got to be
the integrity of it. Yes.
Not an endorsement, right? You can't buy trust and you can't buy authentic. Yeah. And we decided and worked diligently to launch Don't Quit. And here it is, right? This is the chocolate version. Don't Quit, right?
I'm going to try that. That's my favorite.
It's Don't Quit chocolate. Right? Wait a second. I'm going to give you something else. As I know we're doing radio, but you got to visualize.
Oh, it's chai tea as well. What? All right.
Chai tea. And wait, hang on for the East Coasters, baby. We got Orangeicle, right?
Oh, there we go. Yes. All right.
Orangeicle. We have vanilla. Now, here's the cool thing about it is there's no soy, no wheat, no corn, no sucralose, right? No artificial flavors or sweetness, gluten-free, kosher. And by the way, hang on, it tastes delicious.
What?
The sugar that we use in
What
the
wizard
original,
is this? Yeah, that's great.
the sugar that we use is pure cane sugar. There's 10 grams of protein. In the original, is 14 grams of sugar because as we age,
Yeah.
right, a lot of times you have to keep the weight
Increase
on,
the
needs
glucose,
carbs.
yeah.
So you have 26 vitamins and minerals. If you don't want the sugar, we have a max version of chocolate and vanilla, right? 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. And the great thing about it all is the convenience of it.
Yes.
And it's meant as a meal supplement, but people are using it as a meal replacement. James, we're 3 weeks old. Don'tQuit.com. Don'tQuit.com. Go check it out. Reviews are great. We have some great doctors who, unsolicited, have given us testimonials. Right? And for me, look, I've been doing what I've been doing for 42 years.
Yeah.
You know, and everything is about my name and trust.
Yes.
And I won't do something if it's not great.
Yes.
Now, the cool thing about this is it tastes delicious. By the way, it tastes delicious. You know, and
I love
also
it.
too in an important moment because of what we're dealing in with COVID, and you know, people over the age of 50 years old need to really be even more concerned than
definitely.
ever about their health.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that being healthy and drinking Don't Quit is a vaccine,
Of course.
but having Don't Quit, you know, is something that makes you and feel. And by the way, visualize this, everybody listening on the radio. You open your fridge in the morning and you see these two words, don't quit.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Yeah.
When you open the fridge in the morning.
I love it.
Think about it. Now, we're already getting people sending recipes. This gal sent us a recipe. She's made vanilla Don't Quit pancakes using her vanilla original Don't Quit. And we've had, I mean, now we're showing stuff like chocolate. We put a little almond butter and a banana, some ice.
Nice.
Zap it up. It's a chocolate Don't Quit freeze, orangesicle and dates, banana. Oh my gosh, James, you'll lose your mind.
Sounds like it. I had such a wonderful time talking with you today. It was I love hearing your story. I love so much about it, but just even hearing how you started from the overweight boy who stuttered. I mean, it makes me think of my father as well. So I really connected with you on that. So thank you so much. You've done so much. And one of the main things, another really thing I love about you as well is your integrity. You can definitely see that what you talk about, you're passionate about it, and you seem very transparent, very authentic. And that really, like I said, resonates with me because that is something, as we all go through life, the more integrity we have and it shows forth to other people, it literally can change the world around us.
I agree, and that was well said, and I'm proud of everything that you're doing too, James. It's important, and I don't know, is your dad still alive?
No, unfortunately, he passed away in 2010. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, I love this story.
I'm sure he was a great man. Yes, I would have loved to have met him, man. But it sounds like we had the same path, man.
Yes,
so
we did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you keep up the great work, brother.
Thank you.
And don't forget, check out Don'tQuit.com and all those great fans of yours. We want everyone healthy and safe, strong, and stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. Don't
love
quit.
that. Thank you so much, Jake. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being an awesome guest on my show today.
Thank you, buddy.